Hey everybody, Gabe Jenkins back with you. We're going to do the walkthrough for drawing number 14. And I'm going to try to follow exactly like I did, like I talked about it in the overview. And I think you're going to see this one's pretty straightforward. Okay, I'm over here in AutoCAD and I'm going to use the millimeter template because I got units of 182, so that's obviously going to be a lot bigger than anything we can put. 182 inches doesn't fit on a piece of paper, right? So I'm going to start off just by honestly, I'm going to make the two big circles and then I'm going to make a bunch of construction lines and then we'll just kind of go from there, all right? The two big circles have a diameter of 182 and 170. So I'm going to go to my diameter circles and I'm going to start it at the origin. I want that to be my center point for all the stuff. And the first one is 182. Let me zoom in a little bit. That's probably about as much zooming in as I can do. And then make another one that has a 170, I think it said. Yep, 170. So I make those first two circles. All right, now let me just make sure I got both of these on the visible layer. Probably don't. Probably on the 0 layer. There we go. Let's make them visible. Cool. And now I'm going to be working for a second on the construction layer. So I'm going to switch over to the construction layer. I'm going to make some just construction geometry to just kind of help me figure out where to locate things and where to draw lines. Okay. So I'm going to start off by just making an overall construction line that's just a horizontal line. Click that one there. We learned how to do this the other day in the other assignment. And now I'm going to make some more specific. I'm going to make one specific line. Hold on. I'm just going to make one that goes from the center point of the big circles to the center point of all the other circles, and it says that that's 30 over to the left. So I'm going to go there over 30. That endpoint, even if you can't really see it, if you zoom in, you can see it. But that's going to be the center point of all those other ones. Now I'm going to make a bunch of offset lines. I'm going to make one that goes up 9 and down 9 so that I can figure out where that line's going to go and that line's going to go, and then one that's the same line here, and then one that's up 25 and down 25. So 9 was the first one we're going to do, and I'm going to offset this line up 9 and this line down 9, and then I'm going to do one more offset of 25 where I take that first line again and go up 25 and down 25. And I think that might be all the offset lines I need. We'll see. Maybe I need to add something else in a second, but probably not. All right, I'm going to go back to my visible layer. Sounds like a crime syndicate, my visible layer, my invisible layer. Anyway, sorry. Let's go ahead and start making all the other circles that are based around this second center point over here, right? So the first one I look at, the most interior one says it has a radius of 35. That means a diameter of 70. And the next one now says a radius of 50, so a diameter of 100. Let's go here. Well, since it says 35, I'll just make it. Okay. All right. So find my little center point over here, lock onto it. First one was 35. My next one's going to be 50, it says. Cool. Next, this circle right here, there's one that says, sorry, there's, what should I do? Should I do this tiny one? Let's do this one in here. This one that's going to be kind of the edge of this kind of poking out part right there. That one says it has a radius of 56, so I can make that one 56. The next one out, what is this radius? Where do I find this radius? It's little. Well, we can do a couple of things here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to make one more circle on the outside over there. We will. Here it is. Took a little bit of detective work for me, right? So it doesn't tell you the radiuses, but it does tell you that the radius between that circle and this next one out, the difference is 10 units in radius. So whatever this one was for a radius, if I add 10 to that, it's going to give me the radius of this. So the radius of this one was 50, so the radius of the next one out is going to be 60. So I go here one more time, and I'm going to say radius of 60. And you can see I'm starting to build out a crazy looking shape right here. And then the last one I forgot to do earlier in the similar way, based on our original center point, this outer thing right here the difference between the radius of this one and the radius of this one is 15. So we know that the radius of this one right here was half of 170. Half of 170 is 85, and 85 minus 15 is going to be 70. So I'm going to make one more circle here, and it's just a lot of circles, right? It's a lot of circles. All right. Whew. It's going to be tough to keep it all kind of straight. We're going to end up having to trim a lot of pieces away, but that's all right. Okay. Let's see. What makes the most sense to kind of get started? Let's start by maybe trimming away some of all this extra stuff that's in here that I know I'm not going to need. So I'm going to go to my trim tool and I'm going to trim away. Let's see. I'm going to trim away this and this and this. Okay. I'm definitely not going to need that piece or that piece. Or that. Okay. You might have to keep going in and out to make sure you're not trimming away something that you are going to need. I don't need that. Do I need that? No. Don't need that. Don't need that. Do I need that? No. Not going to need this little piece right here. So yeah, this is actually a big struggle for me personally. I very often kind of mess up at this stage where I over trim and I take away things that I'm probably going to need. I think I can get rid of this and this and this and this and this and this. And maybe you find that maybe you're going to find that this is too much trimming for you. You'd rather create one element at a time and then go back and kind of just make what you want to make like one particular geometry shape and then trim away the stuff you don't need and then start again, like making a new shape by scratch. That might work well for you. So it might be the best way to proceed. All right, so I'm going to let's start making this shape right here the way we want it to be, which means that I'm going to have to fill it all the corners, and I'm also going to have to define this lower boundary right here, right? And so I know that it's 18, the distance from here to here is 18, so it's 9 up and 9 down, and I already drew that. I drew that boundary line by offsetting the horizontal line right there. So this is the line. This is my horizontal midpoint, right? And here is my 9 up. So if I draw a line that goes straight from here over to that intersection, let me zoom in and make sure I'm right on there. Cool. That's now the lower boundary. If I do the same thing down here, from here to here, cool. I've now gotten rid of that. So if I can kind of trim. Do I really want to trim all the? I'm going to leave my construction lines later so we can see at the end exactly where we drew them all. But let me just turn them off for a second so I can see more easily what we're trying to do here. Turn that off. All right. So let me zoom out a little bit. I'm going to trim away this part and that part. Now you can see I'm starting to get those kind of like half lunar shape. I don't know, half crescent shape. And I'm going to fillet the corners. So I'm going to click on my fillet tool. My radius R is 6 because it says the radius is 6 on all of them. I'm going to click multiple because I got a whole bunch of them to do. That one, that one, that one, that one. I don't know, maybe I could have just clicked polyline and it would have done the same thing. Maybe if you want to try that, you can try that and see if that works. If it does, awesome, then you only have to click one thing and you're done. All right. But now that's done, I'm escaping out of my fillet tool, so I'm not doing that anymore. And all I really have left to do are make this little, that little thing, and then that little kind of like rectangular piece that pops out right there. So I'm going to turn my construction layer back on, and so I can see where I am right now. And I'm going to make that little line right there. So I'm going to draw this little line and this little line, and so then I can kind of trim away the parts I don't need. And we also remember this is 25 up from the midpoint and 25 down from the midpoint. So this line I'm about to draw is up there. Okay. On the visible line, yep, I'm on the visible. So this line goes from here to here, and from here to here. Let me go in now and zoom out a little bit and trim away this stuff I don't need anymore. I don't need this. I don't. Whoa. Careful, careful. I tell you, I make mistakes on the trim a lot. All right, click that, click that. And I need to open this part up. Okay. And I think if I turn off my construction layer, it's going to look right. Yep, that looks right. Okay. Turn it back on for a little bit left to do. All I really have to do left now is to make this cutout here, this cutout here, and just go straight down. And this outer part is no longer part. It's not an arc. It's just a straight line down. So I know that where my construction line intersects, which is right here, I know that if I make a line that goes out 6, straight down and back over 6, that'll be exactly the geometry I need. So I'm going to go over here to there. I'm going to zoom in real tight on it, go straight out 6, go down at a 90-degree angle until it intersects here, and then back to the intersection, click, trim away the parts I don't need. Don't need that, don't need that. All right, and at that point, let me zoom out, turn off my construction line so you can see what it looks like, and let's just compare really quick. Before you turn in anything, you should always just take a second and compare. Does it make sense? Does it look right? And I'm just looking at it. I don't see anything that looks wildly wrong. I'm looking at all the different kind of like spaces between these things, make sure that looks right. And ultimately, your final test is going to be when you go ahead and dimension this and put in your center points on the appropriate layers for your drawing, like I'm going to ask you to do. When you put all those in, do your dimensions match up with the ones in the reference drawing? And if they do, congratulations, you've done an outstanding job. All right, everybody, I think this is going to be pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Good luck to you. Have a great day.